Junction diode. PN junction diode consists of P-type material at one end and N-type material at the other end. A P-type material and an N-type material, if they are fused together, a junction is formed. That is known as junction diode. A silicon crystal or a germanium crystal will be doped with a trivalent impurity at one end and pentavalent impurity at the other end. Such a crystal is called a junction diode. So, a junction diode can be made with silicon crystal or with germanium crystal. It will be doped with trivalent impurity as well as with pentavalent impurity. At one end, it will be doped with trivalent impurity. At another end, it will be doped with pentavalent impurity. It is symbolically represented as follows. A triangle represents positive and the line in front of it represents the negative N-type material. Triangle represents P-type material. So this is how a PN junction diode is represented symbolically. A small region which separates these two materials is called a junction. The small region which separates P-type material and N-type material is called a junction. When the junction is formed, electrons from N-type material diffuse into P-type material and holes from P-type material will diffuse into N-type material. Diffusion takes place. Diffusion takes place from higher concentration to lower concentration. In N-type material, electrons are majority charge carriers. Their density is more. So they diffuse into P-type material. In P-type material, holes are the majority charge carriers. Their density will be more. So they will diffuse into N-type material. So due to the diffusion of these two, P-type material, electrons into P-type material and holes into N-type material, the junction will be formed. In the junction region, some of the electrons and holes combine and get neutralized. Some of the electrons and holes crossing the junction, they combine together and get neutralized. But ions will be formed inside the junction. Inside the junction, ions will be formed. This region is called depletion region. The region in which ions are formed is known as depletion region. After depletion region is formed, across this region, in the N-type material, across this region, hole concentration takes place. Diffused holes, they concentrate nearby this junction in the N side N-type material. Electrons crossing the junction, they concentrate across this junction inside the P-type material. Inside the P-type material, near the junction, electron concentration takes place. Inside the N-type material, near the junction, concentration of holes takes place. The concentration of holes and electrons across the barrier, they create a potential difference. This is called barrier potential. So the junction acts as a barrier, potential barrier. A small potential difference will be created across this junction. In fact, a positive terminal will be created inside N-type material across the junction, and a negative potential will be created inside the P-type material. So a potential barrier will be created across this junction. Forward bias. Biasing means applying potential difference Applying potential difference to the junction is known as bias. If the positive terminal of the battery is connected to p-type material and the negative terminal of the battery is connected to the n-type material, such a potential difference is known as forward bias. If the battery positive is connected to the p-type material and negative of the battery is connected to the n-type material, it is known as forward bias. So forward biasing is represented. Above one is block diagram of forward bias. The lower one is the circuit diagram. It is symbolic circuit diagram of the forward bias. Due to forward bias, holes will be repelled by the positive terminal of the battery towards the junction, and electrons will be repelled by the negative terminal of the battery towards the junction. Both holes and electrons, they will be repelled by the battery towards the junction. Both holes and electrons will be driven towards the barrier, and the current starts flowing in the diode when the applied potential difference by the cell is greater than the barrier potential. So the potential established by the bias, when it exceeds the barrier potential, a current flows in the diode. This current is established in the forward direction due to the continuous diffusion of the majority charge carriers. That is, continuously diffusion of holes takes place from p-type material to n-type material, and the diffusion of electrons takes place from n-type material to p-type material, and thereby a current will be constituted. The current will be in milliamperes. The current increases very sharply. We can draw a curve between the applied voltage and the current in the circuit. Let us plot potential difference, applied potential on x-axis and the current in the circuit on y-axis. Initially, there will be no current till the potential increases to the value of barrier potential. So the arrow mark indicates the barrier potential. The line at the arrow mark indicates the barrier potential. Thereafter, the current will be noticed. So the current will be zero as long as the applied reverse bias. Reverse bias. The positive terminal of the battery will be connected to n-type material, and negative terminal of the battery, if it is connected to the p-type material, then such a bias is known as reverse bias. Reverse bias means connecting positive terminal to the n-type material and negative terminal to the p-type material. So above one is block diagram, below one is circuit diagram. See, positive is connected to n-type and negative is connected to p-type. This is reverse bias. Due to reverse bias, the electrons will be attracted by the positive terminal of the battery and the holes will be attracted by the negative terminal of the battery. So the width of the depletion layer increases. In the case of forward bias, the width of the depletion layer decreases because the electrons and holes will be driven towards the junction. But in the case of reverse bias, electrons and holes will be attracted by the battery, so the width of the barrier increases. So the diode offers a large resistance in reverse bias. In forward bias, the resistance offered is very less because diffusion will take place because of the applied potential difference. Here, the diffusion will be stopped by the applied potential difference. Hence, the width of the barrier increases and the resistance of the diode increases. But a small current flows. A small current flows due to the drift of the minority carriers. Holes are minority carriers in n-type and electrons are minority carriers in p-type. So the holes in n-type and the electrons in p-type, they will be drifted across this junction. The drift of these minority charge carriers takes place because of the applied potential difference. They constitute a very small current of the order of microamperes. Current of the order of microamperes will be created because of the drift of minority charge carriers. We can show the relation between potential difference and current by drawing a graph. Voltage is taken on x-axis and current is taken on y-axis, and the current will be in microamperes in this case. So in reverse bias, the curve passes close to the voltage axis. After some time, the current will increase. Voltage current characteristics of a diode, VI characteristics of a diode. Generally we call this as characteristics of a diode, the relation between voltage and current in a diode. To study this, let us take a circuit. Here a diode is taken, PN diode is taken, and an ammeter and resistance are connected in series, and a variable voltage is taken as the source on the left side. The arrow mark on the left side indicates a variable contact. Because of variable contact, we get different voltages on the diode. On the right side, we notice a voltmeter connected across the diode. This measures the potential difference across the diode, and the ammeter measures the current in the diode. Here the diode is forward biased. Now, as the current is increased, as the voltage is increased, the increase in voltage can be established by varying the contact. By changing the contact point, the voltage across the diode can be changed. The relation between voltage and current is studied by drawing a graph. Generally, we plot voltage on x-axis and current on y-axis. The voltage will be plotted in volts on x-axis. There will be both positive potential and negative potential. Positive potential indicates forward bias voltage and negative potential indicates reverse bias voltage. On y-axis, on the positive direction of y-axis, the current will be taken in milliamperes, whereas along the negative direction of y-axis, the current will be taken in microamperes, because in the reverse bias, the current will be in microamperes. Along positive direction of y-axis, the current is plotted in milliamperes. Along negative direction, it is plotted in microamperes. Using the rheostat, the potential difference across the diode will be increased from 0. Using the device, the potential difference will be changed, increased from 0. We notice the initial current to be 0 until a value or until the potential difference acquires a certain value. Thereafter only the ammeter shows reading. That means the current begins to flow in the diode. That is known as the point where current starts flowing is known as barrier potential. Now the graph is as shown in the figure. The graph in the first quadrant represents the forward bias relation between voltage and current. That means the current increases with the increase in voltage. Now the terminals of the battery will be interchanged. Positive will be connected in the downward direction and negative will be in the upward direction. Then the diode is reverse biased. Once again, the voltage is increased in the opposite direction and the current is measured. Instead of a milliampere, we use a microammeter. Instead of a milliammeter, we use a microammeter which measures the current in microamperes. Then once again the graph is drawn between voltage and current. Then we notice we get the curve which is drawn in the third quadrant. Initially the current will be very small, and that small current will be increasing slowly, and after reaching certain value there will be a large current in the diode, even in the reverse bias case also. So such a curve is known as VI characteristic curve of a junction diode. Let us analyze the curves. Let us take the forward characteristic biased curve. Forward bias characteristic curve. It is confined to the first quadrant. The voltage is taken on x-axis, it will be in volts, and the current is in milliamperes, it is on y-axis. Now we notice the initial current to be 0. The curve coincides with x-axis up to a particular voltage. That voltage is barrier voltage. So until the applied voltage exceeds the barrier voltage, the current will be forward bias current will be 0. So the current starts flowing only when the applied voltage exceeds barrier potential. The barrier voltage is 0.3 volts for germanium crystal, and it is 0.7 volts in the case of a silicon crystal. If the material of the crystal is diode is germanium, the barrier voltage is only 0.3 volts. If it is a silicon, then it is 0.7 volts. The current starts flowing once the applied voltage exceeds the barrier voltage, and the forward bias voltage current relation is shown by the graph in the first quadrant. Now let us interchange the terminals across the diode, and then the positive negative terminals of voltmeter also interchanged, and the ammeter will be replaced with a microampere ammeter. Initially it will be milliampere measuring ammeter, and it will be replaced with a microampere reading ammeter, and the terminals are also interchanged. Then we notice initially a small current flowing in microamperes. Let us see the curve. It is confined to the third quadrant. The voltage is taken on x-axis. Of course, it is on negative side of x-axis, and the current is taken on negative side of y-axis, and it is in microamperes. This current is due to the minority charge carriers. The reverse bias of the diode acts as forward bias for minority carriers. For minority carriers, it acts as a forward bias, and the electrons and holes will be drifted. At a particular, as this voltage is increased, the current, reverse bias current, will also increase. At a particular voltage, the reverse current suddenly increases, suddenly raises to a high value. Such a voltage is called breakdown voltage. At a particular voltage, in the reverse bias also, a large current flows in the diode. Such a voltage is known as breakdown voltage. This breakdown voltage is the voltage at which the bonds, covalent bonds of the crystal break down. Because of the breaking down of these bonds, electron-hole pairs will be formed. Thereby, a large current flows in the diode. So that is why it is called a breakdown voltage. Junction diode can act as a rectifier. A rectifier is a device which converts AC into DC. We can rectify half wave or full wave using junction diodes. First, let us study a half wave rectifier. To study half wave rectifier, we need a circuit diagram. In the circuit diagram, we notice PS, that is a transformer, step down transformer. P is primary, S is secondary. The line voltage is applied across P primary, and a small voltage appears across the secondary. A pulse of this voltage is shown above this circuit, above the diode, and the voltage across S is AC voltage, and this is applied across the series combination of a junction diode and a load resistance. Across the load resistance, a DC voltage will appear. A DC voltage will appear across load resistance. A AC voltage is applied across the diode, and it is converted into a DC voltage which appears across the load resistance. Now let us study how the rectification is done. Let us study the mechanism in the rectification of this wave. The pulse consists of a positive half cycle and a negative half cycle. The curve above the horizontal line in the pulse represents positive half cycle. The curve below the horizontal line represents the negative half cycle. The positive half cycle it appears for half of the period, and the remaining half of the period the negative half cycle appears across the diode. So alternatively, positive half cycle followed by negative half cycle, followed by positive half cycle, followed by negative half cycle, like this the voltage appears across the diode. When that positive half cycle appears across the diode is forward biased. When the negative half cycle comes to the diode, it is reverse biased. The diode is forward biased whenever the positive half cycle appears across the diode, and it is reverse biased whenever the negative half cycle appears across the diode. When the diode is forward biased, a current flows in the diode, but this voltage is not a constant voltage, it is a varying voltage. So this voltage raises to a maximum and comes to zero. So a pulsating current is created, a current which grows to a maximum value and then comes to zero. Such a current is produced whenever the positive half cycle appears across the diode. And no current will be noticed in the load resistance whenever the negative half cycle appears across the diode, because the diode is reverse biased. When the diode is reverse biased, there will be no current flowing in the load resistance. A current is present only during positive half cycle, and that current is also a pulsating current which raises to a maximum value and then comes to zero. Such a pulsating current flows in the load resistance. This current is created due to the pulsating voltage, which is DC voltage. Lower curve, below curve represents the input voltage, AC voltage, that is pulsing voltage that appears across the diode, AC voltage. You notice positive half cycle, negative half cycle, positive half cycle, etc. This is input wave. The above graph represents the output wave. In the output wave, we notice only positive half cycles. So whenever positive half cycle appears across the diode, a positive voltage will appear across the load resistance. So the above one is the voltage across the load resistance. The below curve represents the input voltage, that is the pulsating voltage that is given to the diode, that is AC voltage. So in half wave rectification, a pulse of current passes for some time, and for the next half period there will be no current, and then during the next half period there will be once again a pulsating current. These pulsating currents will flow only in one direction, that is a DC current. This is because of DC voltage. Full wave rectifier. For full wave rectification, we require at least two diodes. Two diodes are required for full wave rectification. First, let us observe the circuit diagram which is used for this purpose. PS is a step down transformer. S is centrally tapped transformer. Across P, line voltage is applied, and the voltage across the secondary appears across the two diodes D1 and D2. If the positive half cycle appears across D1, then negative half cycle appears across D2. D1 and D2 are connected as shown in the circuit diagram, and both of them are connected to a load resistance. The load resistance is connected to the output of the two diodes, one end of this load resistance. The other end of the load resistance is connected to the central tapping. S will be always at zero potential. So one end of this load resistance is at zero potential. The other end potential depends on the output of the diodes D1 and D2. D1 and D2 become forward biased alternatively. When the positive half cycle appears across D1, the negative half cycle appears across D2. That means when D1 is forward biased, D2 is reverse biased. As D1 becomes reverse biased due to the negative half cycle, then the positive half cycle appears across D2 and it becomes positively forward biased. When the negative half cycle comes and appears across D1, the positive half cycle appears across D2 and D2 is forward biased and D1 is negative reverse biased. So a current flows through D2. This current will also pass through the load resistance. This is studied by means of graph. The voltages are pulsating voltages are studied by means of graphs. The input curve is shown, the input voltage is shown by the bottom curve. It consists of positive and negative half cycles, whereas the upper curve, it consists of only pulsating currents. When diode D1 is forward biased, then a current flows through the load resistance. That current is due to the diode D1 and there will be no current from D2. When the negative half cycle appears across D1, a positive half cycle appears across D2 and thereby D1 becomes reverse biased and no current flows through D1, but D2 is forward biased, so a current flows through D2. So the second pulse is due to the diode D2. And the next pulse will be by D1 because by that time the D1 will be forward biased and D2 is reverse biased. Like this, a pulsating current flows through the load resistance continuously, but one pulse flows through D1 and the next pulse flows due to D2. Like this, alternatively, alternate pulses will. Efficiency of the rectifier. Efficiency is defined as the ratio of output DC power to the input AC power. The ratio of output DC power to input AC power is called the efficiency of a rectifier. Efficiency eta is equal to DC power output by AC power input, PDC by PAC. The relation obtained for half wave rectifier, the derivation is not necessary. The result is mu is equal to 0.406 into RL divided by RL plus RF. Mu is equal to 0.406 into RL divided by RL plus RF. Here RL represents the load resistance and RF is the forward biased resistance of a diode. The resistance of a diode in forward bias, that is RF. RL is load resistance. Here in half wave rectifier only 40.6% of the input power is rectified. Only 40.6% of the input power is rectified in half wave rectifier. The relation obtained for full wave rectification, mu is equal to efficiency of full wave rectifier, mu is equal to 0.812 into RL divided by RL plus RF. 0.182 into RL divided by RL plus RF. In full wave rectifier, 81.2% of the input power is rectified. Double the rectification is done in the case of a full wave rectifier. Advantages of semiconductor diodes. Before the invention of semiconductor diodes, valve diodes were in use. They were bulk in size. They are bulbs like bed lamps. They need power supply for heating them. So the semiconductors have advantages over them. The advantages are PN junction diode is very small in size, so it can be used in microcircuits. They do not require evacuation like vacuum tubes. Semiconductor diodes being solid devices, they are strong and sturdy. Their longevity is more. The life of semiconductor diodes is very, very long. There is no filament producing electrons like in vacuum tubes. So there is no power loss. Depending on the need of semiconductor diodes, which can operate over wide range of voltages, we can prepare a diode. They also handle large currents. These are the advantages of semiconductor diodes. Zener diode. A reverse bias diode breaks down over a small region of voltage. This is the basic principle of Zener diode. A reverse bias diode breaks down in a small region of voltage. This is the basic concept of Zener diode. By properly doping a diode, we can achieve a sharp breakdown voltage. By properly doping a diode, we can achieve a sharp breakdown voltage. Instead of over a region, we can obtain this at a short voltage, at a sharp breakdown voltage. Such a diode is called Zener diode. That means a diode which has got breakdown at a particular voltage is a Zener diode. The sharp breakdown can be attained by changing the concentration levels. By changing the concentration levels, we can obtain a sharp breakdown voltage. In a heavily doped diode, the barrier width is very small and breakdown voltage is less. Breakdown voltage will be less in a heavily doped diode. In a lightly doped diode, the barrier width is very large and breakdown voltage is also large. So magnitude of breakdown voltage depends on the concentration levels. In heavily doped, the breakdown will be less, breakdown voltage is small. In lightly doped, the breakdown voltage is large. The breakdown occurs only when the applied voltage exceeds the breakdown voltage. If the applied voltage exceeds the breakdown voltage, then only the breakdown takes place. In this stage, the valence electrons are separated from the atoms, creating electron-hole pairs. If the applied voltage exceeds breakdown voltage, the valence electrons of the atoms, they get separated from the atoms and electron-hole pairs takes place. As the concentration increases, they acquire sufficient energy. As the concentration increases due to collisions, they acquire sufficient energy to tunnel through the depletion layer, to pass through the depletion layer. The voltage remains constant, but the current increases due to this action, that is formation of holes and electrons by the valence electrons. Because of this, the current strength increases, but the voltage remains constant as breakdown voltage. This is how a Zener diode works. Voltage current characteristics of Zener diode. VI characteristics of Zener diode. This Zener diode, when it is forward biased, it acts similar to the ordinary diode. That is, if we draw a graph between voltage and current, initially the current is 0. After exceeding the barrier voltage, the current starts flowing and the current increases with the increase in applied voltage. The current is of the order of milliamperes. So it is similar to an ordinary diode. But its characteristics are peculiar when it is reverse biased. Initially the current is 0, almost 0. The current will be in microamperes. Very small current is present. As the reverse bias voltage is increased, the current increases and reaches only by a small amount. But when the reverse bias voltage reaches the breakdown voltage, -P in the figure, then we notice that the current is increasing very sharply. At this voltage, there is a sharp increase in current and the increase continues as the voltage is increased. But the Zener breakdown voltage remains the same. The curve is almost a straight line parallel to y-axis. Here, during breakdown, the current will be in the order of milliamperes. Before it is only in microamperes. Once breakdown starts, the current passes on 2 milliamperes and the current increases to the large extent without increase in the breakdown voltage. The symbol for Zener diode is similar to ordinary diode except with a Z letter before the positive triangle. Summary of the characteristics of Zener diode. They behave like ordinary diodes in forward bias. They will have a sharp breakdown voltage in reverse bias. This breakdown voltage remains constant even if large currents pass in the reverse bias. The breakdown voltage depends on the nature of the doping. Hence, diodes of different breakdown voltages can be designed. Large current can be operated without getting damaged. It is specially designed to operate in the reverse bias. Zener diode is just an ordinary diode except for sharp breakdown voltage. Voltage regulator, a device which keeps constant voltage even if input voltage change occurs or the load resistance changes or load current changes. The same voltage is applied across this regulator. Such a device is voltage regulator. The Zener diode helps in maintaining this constant voltage. The Zener diode helps in maintaining this constant voltage because it has a sharp breakdown voltage, constant breakdown voltage. To study this voltage regulator, let us take the circuit. Here, a Zener diode is connected in series with a resistance Rs, and this series combination is connected across the source of voltage V. The current through the series resistance is say Is, and the current through the Zener diode is Iz, and the voltage across Zener diode is Vz. A load resistance RL is connected across the Zener diode. The current through this load resistance is say IL. Now let us see what happens if the source voltage changes. If the source voltage increases, then Is, the series current, increases. Thereby Iz increases. Even though Iz increases, Vz will remain constant because of breakdown property. So the voltage across the series resistance Rs, it increases. The voltage across series resistance Rs increases if the source voltage increases. Similarly, if the source voltage decreases, then the voltage across Rs will decrease. But the voltage Vz remains constant. Across Zener diode, the voltage remains constant even though the current through the diode decreases. So, a constant voltage Vz is applied across the load resistance RL. So, there will be no effect of the current passing through the load resistance or the voltage applied across load resistance. Now, let us see the other effect. If the load resistance is changing, in some cases the load resistance may change. Let us take this case. If the load resistance increases, then the current through this device load resistance decreases because Vz, the voltage applied across it, is constant. As the current decreases, then Iz will increase. Even though Iz increases, Vz remains constant. Vz remains constant even if Iz increases. So, same voltage will be applied across the load resistance. If the load resistance decreases, the current through the load increases. Even if the current through the load increases, the voltage across this load remains constant because it is Vz that is applied across this load. As IL increases, Iz decreases. Even if Iz decreases, Vz will not change. So the same voltage is applied across the load resistance. The relations that we get here are the relations of the current says Is is equal to Iz plus IL. and the relation of voltages is Vz is equal to ILRL. Another relation is total voltage of the source V is equal to ISRS plus Vz. These are the relations that we get between currents and voltages. These are useful while working with the problems.